podcasting since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts radio network, kingofpodcasts.com.
Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I choose OnlyFans over love?
We're all a little depraved and debaucherous. Here is the king of podcasts.
This goes to one of those random few people that have reached out to me over the years when I've done any program under the King of Podcasts radio network and told me not to sing. Well, that tells you everything that you need to know right there. All right, anyway, welcome to the program. kingofpodcasts.com. Hey, I finally fixed the website. I'm never happy with it because I've been trying to just figure out what's the easiest way just to put everything that I want onto one page of a website, not having you navigate all over the place. So it's real simple. Now the website has all the programming up there. The 4 shows I do regularly, which is also the Wrestling is Real podcast, the Broadcasters podcast, and Podcasters Row, counting along this one. And you'll see the newest episode there. And if you click through the icon, you go to the complete series, where you can actually go and find all the episodes that you would possibly desire. It's all right there, kingofpodcasts.com. Also, my social media. Also, a couple of easy ways to go ahead and find the YouTube link at King of Podcasts. And also an ad to a little sponsor that I've been kind of working on pretty extensively here called FirmTech. So let me go ahead and talk about this. They now have a new program, which is data-driven and personalized testosterone therapy. Listen, it's not, you don't have to be 40, 50 years old to realize your testosterone is going away. For some of you guys out there, you need the extra testosterone now, the extra T, believe it or not. So what they do is they base themselves on measurable functional performance, muscles, penile blood flow, sexual initiative, and confidence. They'll measure your erections, your sexual performance and initiative, muscle measurements and strength. And if you're between 30 and 75-year-old men, 30 to 75, you want to optimize your testosterone. You're having erectile dysfunction issues, low energy, declining performance. Well, you want to find out what's going on and how to take care of it. And one of the things you can absolutely do is use the tech ring from FirmTech. There's so much more about this you can go and find out. The tech ring helps you get real data, helps you get the most intense orgasms. And also made for great value. You can go ahead and get your hands on a tech ring right now, 15% off. Use the promo code KING at checkout, or just go to the link on the website, kingofpodcasts.com. Go right there. Or you can also just go to myfirmtech.com/king, myfirmtech.com/KING, and you are in there and you'll find out. If you want to be able to go and have great sex, you want to be hard, firm, erect, and be able to go at it for any of your significant others you want out there, you need to go ahead and figure this out and do it in the discreetness and privacy of your own home. Find out. myfirmtech.com/king, or just use king at checkout at myfirmtech.com for 15% off. And trust me, on the pricing of some of these tech rings, it's a big deal to get 15% off. So get your hands on one today, or get part of that program. Go find out, and please support, because that really helps out this program. Let's go and talk about OnlyFans. One thing I must say is that I don't understand the appeal of OnlyFans when you can't really see that much that the creator gives you. I can understand other websites where if you want to go to a site that might have fetish videos, or you might find, whatever kind of hardcore content that you want. If you're looking for porn, right, you can go ahead and see a preview of what you're going to get, and you can buy it, or you can subscribe to it, whatever it is. But OnlyFans, you don't get to see that much that's really available for free, because these creators, they're not going to necessarily feel good about putting anything out of their paywall, something behind a free wall, and just say, oh, you know what, sign up, follow me, and I'll show you a couple of things. Because you don't know what you're going to get. And then if these OnlyFans creators are going to give you anything, they're amateurs. At the end of the day, are they going to shoot this in any way where you're going to get to see your entire body, their face, whatever you want to see? What are you going to actually see? And if it's just pictures, you want something more mobile, more visual, more animated, well, what are you going to get? I'm just saying, there's something about that part that I don't understand where OnlyFans is the appeal, except for the fact that OnlyFans creators only are able to drive simps, because you have to be a simp to be an OnlyFans subscriber. You have to be in awe, obsessed, infatuated over the creator. So I understand, guys, you see girls like Sophie Rain or Piper Raquel or Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips or Annie Knight. I understand you find them attractive and you see them there and like, oh, wow, you get to see them revealing more than you would ever hope for. And that maybe you get a chance to interact with them in chats or other messages that you get. And I don't know what the appeal is for that, because you can find girls like that all around. Now, maybe you might not necessarily find girls like that on the regular, say, in a Midwestern town, in a small town, a suburb. Like if you're not living near a big city, yeah, you might not find so many girls like that. But the truth is, there are plenty of girls that look a lot like these girls here. It's just the appeal to them is that you get to see them a little more open and you think they're more approachable and you feel like they're going to fulfill your fantasies. And for some of these guys, I would imagine simping over these girls, that you are able to go ahead and get to a particular climax just by looking at them without really seeing them doing anything else. If they're just going to be just in a bikini or they're going to not show anything of themselves, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, where you have the picture in your mind, you're imagining, and you let your imagination go wild. And that's what helps you get yourself off. But that hurts you in the dating process. I just recently met somebody on a dating app, and I went out with them several times. And I'll admit that when you get yourself caught up into just simping over girls online, or you're watching content and try to put that out into the real world, and you want to see if your fantasies can be fulfilled, that's one of the things that I was interested with this girl, is that I did try to see how she would fulfill some fantasies of mine, because I was very blunt and open about what my approach was if somebody was going to find me on this particular app. So I put that out there. We met. First time was we met at the mall, hung out. It was fine. We meet again, and we were talking for several weeks. But her thing was, it was always about like getting to know somebody in person. She didn't feel like she wanted to get to know anyone that much until she was there face to face, so she could get a real feel of body language and the reactions to what they were doing. Like, it was no FaceTime, no phone calls. I mean, we did that, but it was more me talking than her. It's because she didn't really give too much of herself about what she wanted from me. And that was a problem to me, because I was like, well, I felt like the communication was one-sided. And then we met up this weekend, and after feeling like everything that I was looking for, having her kind of enable herself to become what I was looking for, it didn't really pan out to what I was hoping. It was like, okay, this is just me trying to fill a void, but the void doesn't stay filled. This one woman wasn't going to be it. And that's okay. I'm keeping this very cryptic and not giving up too much here, just because this is fresh and new, but maybe down the line I might share more details about this. But my whole idea is that it's the fact that, I met a girl that was more my age. She was 3 years younger than me. But for the most part, my approach has been going after younger women. So more women in their 20s and 30s, which is the desire of many guys out there in the first place. Doesn't matter what age you are. And when I see the appeal of guys that will see girls on streams, live streams or TikTok videos, Instagram reels, or doing their own OnlyFans content and saying they're going to go behind OnlyFans, it's because those girls know that they're trying to go ahead and have a guy's imagination chase after them. Because there's no real connection at all to these women, these creators. And that's the part that if you're trying to date, you don't find a real connection. Now, I would have wanted a real connection with the girl I was talking to, but she didn't want to allow that. So I tried to find something that would go ahead and bring us closer. It didn't work. And that's okay. Because otherwise, if I was going to go and draw this out, it wasn't going to do well. But I was trying to get somewhere out of this. There's an author named Arthur Brooks. He put out a story on the Free Press that talks about why young people are choosing OnlyFans over love. And according to him, he says it's because of fear. So they make the point about there's a new study that came out that found that more Americans spend on the subscription-based porn platform OnlyFans more than they do the New York Times and ChatGPT combined. And the story says about that people are spending more time alone and depressed and increasingly addicted to porn. The ubiquity of the internet has exacerbated many of these trends as young people abandon the ups and downs of real life for the anonymity and instant gratification offered by a screen. So as AI takes over the world, OnlyFans, according to what journalist Ed Elson reports, he says there are 378 million global OnlyFans users spending a total of $7.2 billion on the site in 2025. And the top OnlyFans star, $43 million a year, that's Sophie Rain. Now, going farther into what he wrote at Elson, that there is the chat function. And as we talked before about OnlyFans, when it comes to the models here, the creators that they talk to, it's not just the visual content they're looking at. It's not just the pictures and videos. It's this chat thing they have where OnlyFans takes kind of the place of dating for some of these guys that think they have a chance, a slim chance, like a Dumb and Dumber type of slim chance of getting one of these girls to be with them. 70% of OnlyFans total revenue comes from the private chats. And in this way, OnlyFans isn't just monetizing porn, it's monetizing loneliness, offering a sense of personal companionship that regular porn doesn't provide. The same thing we talked about when it comes to what Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips did, where if they did their gangbangs, what they did was they offered time to engage or have dialogue with the people they were having sex with. And that Bonnie Blue continues to do that today, even after her stuff that she did after her most recent stunt. Now, we've had things like this before called phone sex operators. That was a pastime that monetized very well back in the day. And the thing is now AI is going to continue to have that because you're going to have the devices, the smart speakers that you have that will also take some of that place away. But there has to be a visual they want to have that goes along with the girl they're talking to. How bad would that be if some of the guys that are chatting with they think is Sophie Rain or Piper Raquel or whoever else, and they're not talking to her, they're talking to somebody else that's representing her? Because in the private chat feature, how many of you guys don't realize what guys like me would remember about when we had phone sex operators? Who knows if you're being catfished by some of these girls that you think you're talking to, because there's probably multiple guys that are trying to reach out to them in private chat. And do you honestly think they have time to go and talk to all you guys out there? And they're giving specific one-on-one time to talk to you and listen to you and read your messages? I don't know if I would be that naive, but I think there's some naive guys out there that are doing that. But at the end of the day, 378 million OnlyFans subscribers, it's taking the place of dating. That's the biggest problem we have right here. So OnlyFans, for instance, now is the most revenue efficient companies in the world. They make more money. I mean, we've seen big brands in the adult space, but nothing like this. And then if you want to break it down by state, California has spent more on OnlyFans in 2025 than the average California would make in 3,000 years. This is a story from Vice that talks about this. $3,000 per second. So recent data from OnlyGuider. California spent $350.6 million on OnlyFans in 2025 alone. And in Los Angeles, $71 million was spent on OnlyFans. New York City is one of the higher cities, but again, that's $87 million over a population that's what, 17, 20 million people? Versus Los Angeles is a little bit smaller than that. The top California cities, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, Fresno. In California, you think about that guys are willing to go ahead and just mope around on OnlyFans talking to girls there. When in California, you would imagine you have girls that are the California nice. And a lot of beautiful women there. I mean, I've had several experiences in California, in San Jose, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles. That California nice is cool, man. When you're talking about the girls there that are not going to give you a hard time like you would have here in South Florida where I'm at, where it's like, you know, the attitude comes, the clout and the status comes into play. It's a different story in California. They just raise them different over there. The women are just much different, and I love that. But that's an amazing stat. And there's been a lot talking about how much people are spending on OnlyFans. OnlyGuider also broke down each state and city spending per 10,000 people to find out which residents were spending the most money. So the national average per 10,000 people was $77,334 spent. So you were getting $7 per person per year in a city. Atlanta, Georgia, per 10,000 residents, $525,000 and spent $26 million total in 2025. So if you look at the cities themselves, here's another great stat. Your top cities spending on OnlyFans content: Atlanta, Georgia, $26 million. Orlando at $14 million. Salt Lake City at $8 million. Then you have, now there's also the per capita per 10,000 they talk about here, where Salt Lake City spends more money per 100,000 people than Miami does. Miami, $17.5 million spent on OnlyFans. And that's aside from the idea that a lot of OnlyFans models, they can go find a bop house right there in Miami if they want to go and get next to them. And then on top of that, in Miami, you have plenty of women out here. And you're going after like any plain Jane brunette or blonde American girl on those sites. When you have Latin American girls or girls from all over the world that come to Miami because of the international spotlight it has, you're telling me you're not wanting to go and just go out your side, your house. Instead, you want to stay on your computer or your phone and just stick to OnlyFans? $17 million. It's mind-boggling. Minneapolis, $14 million. Cleveland, $11 million. Denver, $21 million. Seattle, $21 million. Almost $8 million spent by St. Louis and Las Vegas, $17.5 million. Why isn't Las Vegas that happening? Las Vegas, you got bunny ranches, you got prostitutes, you got massage parlors, you got all the debauchery that you could ever want. And you're telling me that guys are willing to spend per 10,000 people $258,000 or $17.5 million in total? That's amazing. It's really eye-popping. Did not know there was that much money. So, ladies, I want to pose this question to you. When you look at this here, look at all the money these OnlyFans creators are making. And you complain about wanting a guy that has a certain status, a certain clout, a certain height, a certain income. And you have made it so hard for them to date you. They're willing to go and invest money onto a girl that they imagine or fantasize on a computer, tablet, phone, or laptop. They're willing to go and spend the money there. Look at how bad you hurt yourselves in the process, because of your materialism. Because guys do have the money and they don't want to spend it on you. You're the problem. The OnlyFans thing only becomes a problem when dating becomes a problem. When dating for men and women are not the way it was. When you can't play the dating game. When you can't just meet somebody based on love or just a hookup. You can't even do that anymore. And ladies, you're now competing against these OnlyFans models, these OnlyFans creators. You're competing against them. You might look like Piper or Sophie Rain, Piper Raquel or Sophie Rain, but you're not them because they have this spotlight. And the money that those guys spend on them, they're not going to treat them like crap because they're going to do what it takes to keep those guys to keep spending money. So if the private chats keep coming, more to them. And they're going to keep them hooked because they don't want to see them go ahead and find a girl like you that comes to her senses and realizes, oh, I shouldn't be treating guys like this. And I shouldn't be feeling like I need to go ahead and make sure they take me on a first-class first date. If they don't spend $100 on a first date, if they don't buy me roses, or they don't go pay for my lashes, or pay for my hair weaves, or pay for my hair to get done, or my nails, or buy me a new bag, or buy me new clothes, or take me to this place for mimosas, or take me to this rooftop bar, or whatever, or take me traveling. Like all the things that women will delusionally think of because of what social media tells them. And then you go out here and think you're going to get what you want from these guys. But now you need to realize the ones that are going to do better than you are the OnlyFans creators. They have the best gig going. Their hustle is going to beat yours. And look at all that money right there that's being spent on OnlyFans. Ladies, 378 million global OnlyFans users, probably a lot of men. And we're talking about $7 billion being spent. That's the money that you want. What Sophie Rain makes, $43 million. That's what you want. You're losing out to that girl, to those girls. And of course, you'll crap on them. Oh, they're sluts, they're whores, they're tramps. You know, look at what they have to go and do to degrade themselves. Yeah, you're right. But then what does that say about you? Is that you're willing to, you can't compete against them. They're beating you. They're wiping the floor with you. And they don't have to do anything. So the dating that comes up here is that the loneliness that these guys have because you have made it difficult to now impossible to date. We know there are exceptions to this rule. It's very clear. Plenty of women do not follow this. Listen, I found the girl that was approachable, I could have gotten with, but it wasn't going to be right. I wasn't ready for her, and she wasn't the right one for me, and that's okay. Amicable. Broke it off. Met a couple times, move on. For the guys, I understand where you're coming from, why you would want to go ahead and approach these girls on OnlyFans. Listen, just be making the graphic and seeing the beautiful women that are the focus of attention right now, young, beautiful, without knowing anything else about them. You know, we just have just that visual. And we get the idea in our heads, girl next door, sweet, innocent, and whatever story they want to tell us. And that makes us feel like, oh, wow. You know, it's just the same thing like I would feel like if I had a crush on a star, like a celebrity or a singer or whatever. Same kind of idea. We get the perception here. But it's not in real life. And so, ladies, if you were smart enough to realize that your delusions are pushing guys away and keeping them lonely. There are guys that can normally be stoic and they can handle loneliness and they don't care. And there's plenty of those guys now. You've lost them. But the guys you didn't have to lose, the guys that are chasing after love and would still love to have something to come and cure that loneliness, especially younger guys that are not mature and emotionally intelligent and just realize they got to work on themselves and fix themselves and make themselves better men, you could still have them. But you're losing all them to OnlyFans creators. What does that say about women like you that have asked for so much, and you get the question, what do you bring to the table? And you can't answer it, or you defer, or you deflect. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to dismiss what you feel and what your situation is, or your independence. I'm not trying to dismiss any of that. But you got to ask yourself that question. For all you young ladies out there to listen to this program, and I'm so thankful. I love all of you for being here and listening to this program on a regular basis. And I hope if you're interested, you're welcome to go ahead and reach me on the YouTube channel here, comment there, or send me an email. Hit the contact page at kingofpodcasts.com. Go right there and reach back out to me. You want to keep it discreet? Feel free. But I'd love to go and hear from you. What do you think about this scenario where maybe it wasn't you so much? Maybe it's other women like you or friends of yours that have made it so difficult to impossible for us to believe that if we were interested in a girl like you, we see girls like those OnlyFans creators all the time in person. I mean, I easily could see a Sophie Rain or a Piper Raquel clone easily out there on a regular basis. No doubt about it. If I want out looking, I'll go to the mall, go out to downtown West Palm, go to downtown Fort Lauderdale, Miami, go to the clubs, go to the bars. You can find them. You can find them. Because we're only looking at the fantasy of that girl and how she looks. It's not even thinking about anything else. It's so shallow minded. The guys that are on here on these OnlyFans sites, these creators, it's very shallow. We're not allowed to go ahead and get that cure for loneliness in deep, thoughtful conversation, get to know somebody on a personal level, emotional level, a sexual level. And women, I'm sorry if you feel like you're doing this because of being burned or going through toxic relationships in the past. That's what this program is all about. But I put this episode out tonight because of the fact that OnlyFans is taking advantage of all these guys that you've abandoned, that you have pushed away. And you don't understand why you did it. And what does that prove to you? Because then your loneliness is going to stay like that because you're going to feel like, oh, I don't need anybody either. I'll do what I want. But for guys, it gets easier to be lonely as you get older. For women, I don't know if that's the same. When your youth and beauty fades, when your chance to have children fades away, when the appeal, the attention, the desire of guys coming around to you, complimenting you, getting close to you, trying to do things for you, trying to get close to you, that goes away. That loneliness is really tough. Any Night puts out a new claim that for a guy to date her, Any Night, who slept with 585 guys, she's on the lower end of the gangbang list of the current crop of OnlyFans creators, those that were on OnlyFans, like Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips, decided to go a different route. Now, Any Night's basically just proclaiming prostitution with what she says here. And her pricing is quite interesting. So she explains that she's allowing fans the chance to take her out and receive dating advice in the process. So she now has a new platform to help single men gain confidence, improve communication skills, and get more dating experience. So she thinks she's going to be like the love doctor here, the love guru to these guys who, when they see her, they're not going to want somebody else. So she has put out applications for men to sleep with her. And she says, quote, a lot of them went on to have dates, find girlfriends or whatever it was, having that experience with me because it gave them so much confidence. These guys just needed that one chance, that one shot to get some validation in a good way. So she's eager to help men with dating. So an hour of time with this OnlyFans star is $1,700. $1,700. And if you want to be with her throughout the day for 10 hours, $10,000. Now, by the way, she's engaged to a guy named Henry Brayshaw. She revealed that her dream date would be the man, quote, picking me up, opening the door, and not telling her where they were headed. Quote, he's booked a really nice lunch spot in the water. We had a couple of wines. Maybe we go for gelato or sit on the beach. Something really simple. Like, even the talk right here sounds like a girl that you'd see on, like, Hinge or Tinder or Bumble or whatever else. And I have not even gone through the delusional personalities and main character types that are on Hinge. I'm on there now, and I'm looking at some of the women on here, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're treating your profile like an Instagram page. Oh, I traveled here. I did this. I ate this food. I went here. I did, horseback riding. I I jumped out of a plane. All this other stuff. I hiked a hill. This kind of stuff, it's like, that might be impressive to you, but like the guys, we don't even care if you went through all that. And so for me, it's really easy to go and just skip through profiles for a number of reasons. But like the Instagram looking profile is a deal breaker. So, okay, skip. Tinder will be the same way. That's the other part that has to be considered. Is that women that are trying to act like the OnlyFans models, they might not even notice they're doing it. Because there's the women that are doing their OnlyFans content, but then, of course, on Instagram, on TikTok, they show a different look of themselves, which is safe to watch, right? It's not the not safe for work environment stuff that the OnlyFans paywall has. But outside of that paywall, they show themselves as just random everyday girls and with a certain kind of lifestyles that these women on these profiles of dating, they're basically emulating. They're mimicking. It's the same thing. And I think guys are finally tipping themselves off to it. So they'll go ahead and fantasize on a lower price point for these OnlyFans creators. Like, there's one thing if you just subscribe to their page and you pay, $5, $10, $20 a month. But then you have the other sites where you have the other people that are going on private chats and taking that extra level to cure that loneliness. It's a sad moment. It's tragic. That's what I look at it in my way anyway. I mean, the one thing I wanted to make sure of is that I'm not going to be like that at all. I want to just get myself away from that kind of thing. My idea is to try to move myself going forward into something more where, I'm just trying to get past and find one girl on one of these sites here that's like everyday girl that wants to be a woman that I can go and get together with and be depraved and debaucherous.